Hey guys, welcome to another top 10 list, and welcome to my top 10 of my favorite video games of 2023. Yes, it sucks because I haven't played every single video game that came out this year. I played quite a few. I played as much games as I possibly can, games I wanted to play, games I was excited for, some indie games, like independent lower budget games are usually like my favorite games to play. And I played a good bunch of those. Some of them I loved, some of them I did not. But there's just some games that are going to be on a lot of people's lists that I just haven't played. Like, I haven't played Alan Wake 2. I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3. I probably won't play Baldur's Gate 3 until, like, sometime next year. It's in my backlog. It's just, like, there's a bunch of games I still have to play before I play Baldur's Gate. And that's just me. That's on me. And I know some people are going to be like, this is a bullshit top 10 list because there's no Baldur's Gate. I'm sorry. I haven't played it. It's not fair for me to put a game on this list that I have not played. So, forgive me. So, and again, this is a very subjective list. So, let's get to it. Starting off with my 10th favorite game of 2023, and that is the indie darling of Dredge. Dredge is a cosmic horror fishing game. Yes, a fishing video game that made my top 10 list. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I haven't played a lot of fishing video games for good reason, because that sounds ridiculous. It sounds boring. But you know what the funniest thing is? Fishing in video games is like some of my favorite mini games. Like if I play like Final Fantasy 15 or like Sonic Frontiers, and even my number one game of the year, which I'm not gonna spoil, has fishing in it. Like, I don't know, some of the fishing I love because I love fishing in real life. Dredge was just so like out of nowhere, and I loved every second of this game. It was very Lovecraftian. It was like Moby Dick meets the Abyss. It was crazy how great and super unique this game was. I loved how creepy it was. I love how intelligent the writing was. I loved the characters, the boats, the animation, the creepiness, the atmosphere. This game just knocked it out of the park. It was easily one of my favorites of the year. All right, coming at number 9 is definitely one of the most underappreciated games of the year, and that's RoboCop Rogue City. I don't know a lot of people have played this game yet, and they should. It's quite great. I'll admit, when I heard about this game coming out, I was kind of underwhelmed. I'm just like, I love RoboCop. RoboCop is in my top 10 favorite 80s action films of all time. It's a great movie. It's so brutal. It's so violent. It's got a great satire of American pop culture, especially in the 80s. I buy that for $1. Great movie, super smart film. I just didn't know what they would do with a video game. Then I saw the trailers and I'm like, okay, first person shooter makes sense. But I'm like, is it just going to be some sort of BS Call of Duty ripoff that they're just calling out RoboCop? No, actually. There's actually a story. It follows the movie very well, while also adding its own thing. It brings in a lot of the characters from the movie. It's got Ed 209. And it has a lot of just a journey of you being RoboCop, going through the city, solving crimes, doing work, detective work, trying to solve the mystery of who turned you into the RoboCop and who is responsible for all this. It goes into the psyche of RoboCop and about his family and does he remember and stuff. Like, for a first-person shooter, it actually has a lot of deepness and layers to it, and it was quite good. It was a very good game. I thought it was very rewarding to play. The first-person shooting was awesome. It was bloody. It was violent. The way they just did it all, and the respect they did for the film was shown very beautifully in this game, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was definitely one of the most underrated games I played this year. I do wish it was more of a bigger world to explore, but I think for what we got and for the budget it was, I think it's a pretty solid game. All right, coming at number 8 is Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This is the return to form for Mario Brothers, and I think Mario Brothers has been knocking it out of the park, actually. Like with Mario Maker, Odyssey, and like Mario Brothers is just usually great. But like I didn't expect a game like this. Like this was solid. Like this is the return to form of the original Mario Brothers, but with 2023 visuals and graphics. It's beautiful. It's literally this game was like playing Super Mario World, but a modern Super Mario World. And with all the nods and references to Odyssey and Galaxy and stuff, and even Luigi's Mansion, it is a great game. It is so fun. It's also a couch co-op as well. It had no right to be this good. It could have just been another one-off Mario Brothers game. But the thing about Mario Brothers, man, it respects its fans and it respects the Mario fandom, and it pumps out quality stuff. And this is just another great quality Mario Brothers game. Good job. All right, number 7 is Mortal Kombat 1. I'm a huge MK fan. I'm not a huge fighter. I'm not a Street Fighter fan or anything. The only fighting games I play is Mortal Kombat and Tekken. Those are my fighting games. So when they were doing a full-blown remake of the very first Mortal Kombat game, I was 100% down for that shit. And I loved it. It was great. The combat was awesome. The new fatalities is great. The story is different, but also is respectful, and it still exists in the world of Mortal Kombat. And I like that it kind of reboots a lot of things, and it does it in a very respectful way, especially the way they do Raiden and Scorpion and Sub-Zero stories. It's really good. The way they do Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, it's all great. Visually, it's fantastic. The graphics, the gameplay, the fighting mechanics, it's everything you want as a Mortal Kombat fan. And I know people would maybe be disappointed because some people might say it doesn't bring anything unique or new. And in a way, no, it doesn't. It does bring a unique story, but it doesn't bring any unique gameplay or new features, really. Just a new story, better visuals and stuff. But I always say with Mortal Kombat, don't fix what's not broken, right? Like, I like every Mortal Kombat video game that comes out, like 11, X. I think Mortal Kombat 9 was like a different thing. That's why I think Shadow Monks is probably the most underrated Mortal Kombat game, because it's so different. But I liked Mortal Kombat 1. It was one of my favorites of the year, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm still busting it out and playing some online multiplayer, so hell yeah. All right, number 6 is, speaking of remakes, we got Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is a remake I think many Resident Evil fans have been waiting for, because they remade 2, they remade the first one, the third one. People have been expecting a remake of 4, and we got it, and it's fantastic. It's so good. It is literally the story you remember before. The thing is, Resident Evil 4 is one of the best Resident Evil games. 4, 2, and 1 are my favorites. I think 4 and 1 might be my favorites, actually, because they're just so good. It's Leon S. Kennedy, and when they did a remake of 1 back in like PS3, PS4 days, it was done so well. This one is done beautifully. They don't really change the story because they don't need to. The Leon story is fantastic. Leon is amazing. He's the ultimate badass. The visuals, the landscapes, the gameplay, the way they do the kicks and the handgun plays is all really good. If you know Resident Evil 4, man, like, you know the story, and this game gives you what you want. But it's also a great game to play if you've never played the 4th one, because it's just a remake. It's literally the same game, but it's just a full-blown remake, and it's done amazingly. So, yeah, check it out. All right, top 5. Number 5 is Final Fantasy 16. This is, again, another, I think, underrated. It's a sleeper, man. No one's talking about this game. This game came out and people talked about it for about a week, and then no one gave a shit about this game after, which is a shame. It's shameful because this game is solid. It is so good. It is got a great lead character in Clive. Clive is probably one of my favorite Final Fantasy protagonists in years. Like, he's better than Noctis and Lightning and Titus and Zidane, and I would even maybe say Squall. Like, he is such a great character. He's a badass. He's got a great story. His relationship with his brother is very interesting. The direction they go with his character is so good. It's such good storytelling. I loved it. And that voice actor does such a good job, man. One of the best voice acting in a Final Fantasy game. Also, the Cid in this game is probably the best Cid in any Final Fantasy game. The game is beautiful. It's breathtaking to look at. It is the very first ever mature Final Fantasy game, and it's amazing. It's so fucking good. It's got a great medieval fantasy story. It's so epic. It's very Game of Thrones-esque. It's just amazing. The ending is such a great ending. What a way to end a great game. It's such an epic and beautiful story. Some people thought the gameplay was a little lackluster because you just hit square a lot. But if you know your combinations and know how to use your summons and your special attacks, I still thought it was a very rewarding experience. So I loved this game, and I think it's a little underrated, and I think more people should give it the respect it deserves. All right, number 4. Number 4 is SpiderMan II. SpiderMan II was, again, just another great Spider-Man game, man. Like, they're 3 for 3, man. The 2018 Spider-Man game was solid. Miles Morales was solid. And now this game is solid. And you play as Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and you even get to play a little bit as Venom, which is pretty awesome. I know a lot of people still haven't finished this game and still haven't fully played it yet, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's a great story. The way they link up all the characters together is great, and how they do combinations with Peter and Miles is awesome. Visually, it's fantastic. The side quests are great. I think the side quests are the best side quests out of all 3 of the Spider-Man games. I like that you don't have to do some very tedious... There were some tedious things in the very first 2018 Spider-Man game, and they completely removed that in this game, which I really loved. The villains that they bring in this game are great, and just the relationship with Peter and Miles is just really good. It's the heart and soul of this game, and just I loved it. I had a blast with it. I will never tire of swinging around New York City as Spider-Man. It never gets old. And yeah, just another banger for Spider-Man. All right, number 3. Number 3 is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And I know a lot of people, this is going to be their number 1 or number 2. This and Baldur's Gate are like the talked about games of 2023. Because when Zelda came out, that was like game of the year for like 6 months. And then when Baldur's Gate came out, that's probably going to win Game of the Year. If Baldur's Gate does not win Game of the Year, it's more likely going to go to Tears of the Kingdom. And Tears of the Kingdom, it deserves it, man. It is visually stunning. What they do with Link in this game is amazing. If you are a huge Breath of the Wild fan, which I am, I think Breath of the Wild is not only the best Zelda game, but I think it is one of the best adventure RPG games ever created. This is not better than Breath of the Wild, but it is close. This is in my top 5 Zelda games. This, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, like, those are also my favorites of all time. I loved this game. The bosses were great. The dungeons were amazing. And just, it gave you so much freedom. Like, so much things you can just go out and explore and just be Link in this world and do these amazing quests, meet these new NPCs, and just explore. It's one of the best adventures you'll go on in any video game this year. So, if you're a Zelda fan, fucking play this game. Especially if you play Breath of the Wild and that game blew you away. This one's going to also blow you away. Blow. Anyways, number two, Hogwarts Legacy. And I know there was some controversy. I put quotes controversy. It was bullshit, stupid controversy, but I digress. It didn't affect the sales because this game did very, very, very well. Hogwarts Legacy was amazing. This is the video game I've been waiting for so long. Playing in the Harry Potter world, an open world Harry Potter game. The story takes place way before Harry's time, and you get to create your own character, pick your own house. Of course, I went to Ravenclaw. And you just go to classes. You go to divinations class, dark arts class, the flying class, herbology. Like, you go all these and you meet all these professors. And this is during the War of the Goblins, the Goblin Rebellion against the Wizards. And Ranrock is an okay villain, but the real best thing about this game is Hogwarts, and exploring Hogwarts and being a wizard or witch in the school with the professors and going to class. Like, all Harry Potter fans have always dreamed in their wildest imagination of going to Hogwarts, and this game brings it to life, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. I still go to Hogwarts Legacy and play it, and I love it. And it has amazing side stories, especially Sebastian's side story is probably the best. But, like, I love collecting things and going to new places, and just the combat is amazing. Just, like, learning all these spells and learning the unforgivable curses. And I fell in love with this game. The only thing that I knocked it for is I thought the platinum was ridiculous. There is too much things to collect, and it's also very glitchy getting some of these collectibles. Other than that, that stopped it from being my number one game of the year, but I loved it, and I think it's bullshit that this game did not get nominated for Game of the Year. Fucking haters. But it did make my number one. My number one is Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is a game that, if you're not a JRPG fan, I guarantee you've never played this game or even heard of this game. This game basically takes it back, and it's basically a reminiscent of an old school, like, Final Fantasy sort of game. It's very old school Final Fantasy meets, like, Grandia, meets Tales of Destiny, meets Chrono Trigger. Like, it's a brand new original story, and I fell in love with this game. Absolutely loved it. I loved these characters, these twin characters who have the spirit of the sun and the moon, and they have to go on this journey and defeat this dark force. And this game has like 7 twists and turns. It's like playing The Legend of the Dragoon. It is so, like, you have no idea where the story is going. As it keeps going and going, you have no idea what's about to happen. It's amazing. It plays like an old school PS1 game, but it's also got the fluidity of a current gen video game. I loved it. I fell in love with these characters, this journey you go on, and just no game that I played in 2023 affected me emotionally like this game did. I was just so invested with these characters and so invested with this story that it easily became my favorite game of 2023. I don't know how else to explain it, really. Like, someone might just play this game and just think of it as a fun RPG, but video games have stories that affect people in different ways. In this game, it really affected me, and it really just stuck with me, and it still sticks with me, and it's easily my favorite game of 2023. So yeah, thank you guys for watching my top 10 list. Please let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite video games of 2023? It was a hell of a year for games. I'm excited for the Game of the Awards. Baldur's Gate's probably going to win it, so let's check that out, guys. And please like, subscribe to the channel, and join the dark side.